Hello, I'm Dr. Jones. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered, why is it so hard to lose weight now? Or thought to yourself, I used to have more energy. Even just walking upstairs feels harder these days. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As a doctor who's worked with older adults for over 30 years, I hear this nearly every day from patients in their 50s, 60s, even 70s. They're not overeating. They're not lazy, but something's changed. The truth is, after 50, your metabolism slows down. Hormones shift, muscles shrink, and your body doesn't burn fat or recover from fatigue the way it used to. But here's the good news. I've discovered a simple, natural way to support weight loss, fight fatigue, and restore energy. No pills, no extreme diets. Just a 2-minute daily smoothie with ingredients you probably already have at home. And the results? In some of my patients, they were nothing short of shocking. One man in his late 60s told me, "Doctor, I've lost 6 pounds in 2 weeks. And for the first time in years, I wake up with energy." So today, I'm going to share with you the exact smoothie formula I recommend. I'll walk you through the ingredients, the science behind them, and how they can help you feel lighter, clearer, and stronger, no matter your age. Stick with me to the end, because I'll also explain a few critical mistakes people make when blending smoothies that could actually stall fat loss or spike your blood sugar. Let's start with the real reason your body changes after 50, because once you understand that, everything else starts to make sense. Before we get into the smoothie itself, I want to take a moment to explain what's actually going on inside your body after 50, because once you understand this, you'll see why certain foods like the right smoothie can make such a big difference. The first change? Your metabolism slows down. That means your body burns fewer calories at rest than it did in your 30s or 40s. You could be eating the same foods, doing the same amount of movement, and still gaining weight, especially around the belly. Next comes the gradual loss of muscle mass. After 50, most adults lose about 1 to 2% of their muscle each year. It may not sound like much, but over time, this affects everything: how strong you feel, how fast your body burns fat, even your posture and balance. Less muscle means less fat-burning power. Then there's insulin resistance. As we age, our cells become less responsive to insulin, the hormone that helps regulate blood sugar. That means more sugar stays in your bloodstream longer, leading to energy crashes, weight gain, and over time, a higher risk of type 2 diabetes. And let's not forget hormones. In women, estrogen drops after menopause. In men, testosterone declines gradually. These hormonal shifts affect everything from fat distribution to mood, sleep, and appetite. You may notice you're craving sweets more or waking up tired even after a full night's rest. Put all these pieces together: slower metabolism, weaker muscles, unstable blood sugar, hormonal shifts, and it's no wonder your body doesn't respond the same way it used to. But here's what I want you to remember. This is not your fault. You didn't cause this. It's not a lack of willpower. It's biology. And the good news is, you can support your body by giving it the nutrients it needs, nutrients that help you rebuild strength, stabilize energy, and gently encourage weight loss in a way that actually works after 50. That's where smoothies come in, but not just any smoothie. The right ingredients make all the difference. In the next section, I'll show you exactly what to include and what to avoid so your smoothie, ice and tea, just delicious, but healing. Let's start with the first category, healthy fats. Now that we understand how the body changes after 50, let's talk about what you can add to your smoothie that truly helps. And we'll start with one of the most important and most misunderstood nutrients, fat. For years, many of us were taught to fear fat. We were told it clogs arteries, causes weight gain, and should be avoided at all costs. But here's what science and decades of clinical experience have taught me. not all fats are bad. In fact, your body depends on healthy fats to function properly, especially as you get older. After 50, your body's hormone levels begin to shift. Estrogen in women, testosterone in men, these natural hormones begin to decline. And since hormones are built from fat, not getting enough of the right kind can make those symptoms worse. That includes low energy, stubborn belly fat, and even trouble sleeping. Healthy fats also play a big role in stabilizing blood sugar. When you include the right fats in your breakfast like a smoothie, it helps slow digestion and prevents sudden crashes in energy later in the day. You feel full longer, more focused, and less tempted to snack between meals. So what kinds of fats should you be including? Let me give you a few simple, nutritious choices that work beautifully in a smoothie. First, avocado. Just a quarter to half of a ripe avocado makes your smoothie creamy and satisfying. It's packed with potassium, fiber, and heart-healthy monounsaturated fats that reduce inflammation and help absorb key vitamins. Next, flaxseed or chia seeds. Both are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are especially helpful in reducing joint pain, supporting brain function, and fighting chronic inflammation. Just a tablespoon or two goes a long way. And finally, natural nut butters. Unsweetened almond butter or peanut butter adds flavor, healthy fats, and a small amount of protein. Choose the ones without added sugars or oils, just nuts and maybe a pinch of salt. You don't need to include all of them in one smoothie. Just pick one or two that suit your taste and rotate throughout the week. What you're doing here is giving your body what it needs to feel balanced and nourished, not just full. And when your body feels nourished, it responds better. It holds on to less fat, processes sugar more effectively, and starts to feel more energetic, more stable. In the next section, we'll focus on two more ingredients that play a huge role after 50: protein and fiber. They're key to protecting your muscles, keeping your metabolism active, and making sure your digestion stays regular and comfortable. Let's take a closer look. Now let's move on to the second core element of a truly effective smoothie: protein and fiber. These two work hand in hand, and they're especially important once you're past 50. Let's start with protein. As we age, our bodies naturally lose muscle mass. It happens slowly but steadily. And when we lose muscle, we also lose strength, balance, and metabolic power. Muscle helps us burn calories even while we're resting, and it protects our joints and bones from injury. The problem is, many older adults don't get enough protein, especially in the morning. A slice of toast, a bit of fruit, maybe some coffee. That's not enough to fuel your muscles, let alone rebuild them. By adding a good source of protein to your smoothie, you're giving your body the raw material it needs to maintain and restore muscle. And the good news is, it doesn't take much. Here are a few simple options I often recommend to my patients. Greek yogurt. Just half a cup adds about 10 grams of protein, plus calcium and probiotics for gut health. Choose plain, unsweetened versions to keep sugar low. Unsweetened protein powder. A scoop of high-quality plant-based or whey protein can deliver 15 to 20 grams of protein. Look for powders without artificial sweeteners or fillers. Your body will thank you for it. Silken tofu. It may sound unusual, but silken tofu blends smoothly into a shake and adds protein without changing the flavor. It's especially good for those avoiding dairy. Now let's talk about fiber. After 60, digestion tends to slow down a bit. Constipation becomes more common. Blood sugar may spike more easily. Fiber helps regulate all of that. It keeps things moving in your gut, balances blood sugar, and supports heart health. Many older adults don't get nearly enough fiber, and that shows up as bloating, fatigue, or sudden food cravings. To fix that, just include one or two of the following in your smoothie. Chia seeds, rich in both soluble fiber and healthy fat, They swell up in liquid and keep you full for hours. Oats. A tablespoon of rolled oats can add bulk and fiber while giving your smoothie a soft, creamy texture. They're also good for lowering cholesterol. Psyllium husk. A small amount, even just a teaspoon, goes a long way in helping digestion and managing blood sugar swings. By combining protein and fiber in the same smoothie, you're doing two very important things for your body: protecting your muscles and keeping your digestive system strong and regular. Both of those are essential for aging well. And most importantly, you'll stay fuller longer. That means fewer cravings, fewer blood sugar crashes, and a more balanced appetite throughout the day. In the next part, we'll look at the third category of ingredients, the ones that bring color, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory power to your smoothie. These are the superfoods that help you feel younger, clearer, and more alive from the inside out. Now that we've covered the fats and the proteins, let's look at the third layer of your smoothie, the real color, flavor, and healing power. I'm talking about superfoods. These are ingredients that may seem small, but they're packed with antioxidants, vitamins, and natural compounds that help fight inflammation, support brain function, and boost daily energy. And for people over 50, that kind of support isn't just helpful, it's essential. Let's start with berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, they're more than just sweet. They're rich in anthocyanins, a type of antioxidant shown to improve memory and reduce inflammation in the brain and joints. In one large study published in Annals of Neurology, older adults who consumed berries regularly showed slower rates of cognitive decline, sometimes by as much as 2.5 years. That's a powerful difference just from half a cup of fruit each day. Next is spinach, or if you prefer, kale. Leafy greens blend smoothly into most smoothies, especially if you're using a banana or berries to balance the taste. And they bring something special to the mixed magnesium, folate, and plant-based nitrates that support blood flow, muscle function, and energy production. Then we have turmeric and cinnamon. Just a pinch of turmeric provides a natural anti-inflammatory boost, helpful for anyone dealing with arthritis or joint stiffness. Add a little black pepper to help your body absorb it. Cinnamon not only adds warmth and flavor, it also helps regulate blood sugar, which is especially important if you're watching your weight or managing diabetes. And let's not forget ginger. A small slice of fresh ginger can calm the stomach, reduce inflammation, and even help with mild aches and pains. It blends surprisingly well with fruits like mango, banana, or orange. What I often tell my patients is this: these superfoods don't just add color and taste, they quietly work behind the scenes to protect your brain, your heart, and your immune system. And the best part? You don't need a lot. Just a handful of berries, a handful of spinach, a pinch of turmeric, a spoonful of flaxseed. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about building a habit that supports your body every day without stress. In the next part, I'll show you exactly how to put this all together, how to build a smoothie step by step that is simple, affordable, and made for the way your body works after 60. We'll also talk about common mistakes that people make so you can avoid them and get the full benefit from every glass. Now that you understand the key ingredients: healthy fats, quality protein, fiber, and superfoods, let's talk about how to bring it all together into a simple, daily smoothie you can actually enjoy. No complicated prep, no expensive powders, just real food blended in a way that supports your body after 60. Start by choosing your liquid base. I usually recommend 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or just plain water. If you're looking for a natural energy boost, a mild green tea can work too. The key is to avoid fruit juice. It may seem healthy, but it often contains more sugar than you realize and very little fiber to slow it down. Next, you'll want to include your source of protein. This is the heart of the smoothie. A scoop of unsweetened protein powder works well, whether it's plant-based or whey. If you prefer something more familiar, half a cup of plain Greek yogurt is a great choice. And for those who avoid dairy, silken tofu blends easily and adds a good protein boost without altering the taste. Now it's time for healthy fats. This is what keeps you full, supports your hormones, and helps absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D. And E, you can use a quarter to half of a ripe avocado, a tablespoon of natural almond butter or peanut butter, or even a spoonful of ground flaxseed or chia seeds. Any of these will help your smoothie feel more satisfying and keep your energy steady for hours. After that, bring in the fiber and superfoods. This is where the nutrition really starts to shine. A small handful of frozen berries adds antioxidants, flavor, and color. A handful of baby spinach or kale blends in easily and gives you a dose of minerals like magnesium and potassium. If you enjoy warm spices, try a pinch of cinnamon or turmeric. And for a little extra digestive support, a small slice of fresh ginger can be refreshing and calming. Once you've added everything to the blender, toss in a few ice cubes if you like it cold, and blend until smooth. That is all it takes, about 2 minutes from start to finish, and you've got a full meal in a glass. Now, before we wrap this up, I want to gently point out a few common mistakes I see people make with smoothies, especially when they're trying to lose weight or manage their blood sugar. The first mistake is using too much fruit. While fruits like bananas, mangoes, and pineapple are nutritious, they can spike your blood sugar quickly if you overdo it. One small portion is enough, especially when you're pairing it with fat and protein. The second mistake is using juice or flavored milk as a base. These might taste good, but they're often packed with added sugars, even the ones that look healthy. Your best bet is to stick with water or unsweetened plant-based milk. The third mistake is skipping the fat. This one is easy to overlook. But without some healthy fat in your smoothie, your body can't properly absorb key nutrients. And you'll likely find yourself hungry again within an hour. A smoothie without fat might taste good, but it won't truly nourish you. When you avoid these common traps, your smoothie becomes more than just a healthy habit. It becomes a way to care for your body in a deeper, more supportive way. It helps your metabolism, your digestion, and even your energy throughout the day. Coming up next, I want to share a few short stories from people just like you, patients who added this daily smoothie into their routine and noticed some truly surprising changes. Some lost stubborn weight, others regained their energy, and a few found relief from joint pain they thought they'd just have to live with. Let's hear what happened when they gave this simple habit a real chance. I want to share a few real experiences from people who tried this smoothie habit not for a quick fix, not for a dramatic diet, but as a quiet daily change. One of my patients, Robert, is 67 years old. He's always been fairly active, but after retiring, he noticed his energy levels dropping. He told me he was waking up tired, craving sweets around 3 p.m., and putting on belly weight even though his meals hadn't really changed. We talked about adding this kind of smoothie to his morning routine, something with a clean protein, a healthy fat, a bit of fiber, and a few superfoods. He replaced his usual toast and coffee with a smoothie 5 days a week. After 3 weeks, he came in smiling. He had lost 4 pounds without changing anything else. But more importantly, he said he was thinking more clearly, and the afternoon crashes? Completely gone. Another patient, Marlene, was 59 and dealing with joint stiffness and poor digestion. She had tried all sorts of supplements, but nothing seemed to stick. When she started making this smoothie daily with flaxseed, spinach, and turmeric, she didn't expect much. But by week 2, her bloating was noticeably better. By week 4, she told me her hands weren't aching as much in the morning. She even started walking longer again without discomfort. And then there was Linda, age 62, who admitted she was skeptical. She didn't like the taste of greens and wasn't sure smoothies were real food. But she promised to try it 3 times a week, just 3. She added half an avocado, a scoop of protein, and some frozen blueberries. A month later, she said, "Doctor, I didn't think I'd say this, but I actually look forward to it. It's become my quiet morning routine." And she felt lighter, not just physically, but mentally. Her mood had improved. These are just a few examples, and no, this isn't magic. It's not a miracle shake, but what it is a gentle, consistent way to support your body as it changes. To give yourself the fuel you need to stay active, alert, and comfortable in your skin without starving yourself or chasing trends. In the final part of this video, I'll recap everything we've covered and show you how to make this habit stick easily, without pressure, and in a way that feels natural and satisfying. Let's bring it all together. Let's take a moment to bring everything together. What you've just learned isn't a complicated diet or a one-size-fits-all program. It's a small, sustainable change. And for many of my patients, it's one of the most powerful habits they've ever introduced into their daily routine. We began by talking about how the body changes after 50 slower metabolism, shifting hormones, loss of muscle, and changes in digestion. These changes are natural, but they don't have to be limiting. You can support your body through them gently, consistently, with the right nutrients. Then we looked at the 3 key pillars of a smart, senior-friendly smoothie. First, healthy fats. Ingredients like avocado, flaxseed, and nut butters help balance your hormones, support your joints, and keep your energy steady throughout the day. Second, clean protein and fiber. These are essential for preserving muscle, regulating your appetite, and keeping your digestion smooth and regular, something many people struggle with quietly as they age. And third, we added in superfoods. Blueberries, spinach, turmeric, ginger. These aren't trendy for the sake of it. They work. They fight inflammation, protect your memory, and help you feel more alive from the inside out. We also walked through the exact steps for building your smoothie, and I shared a few common mistakes to avoid, like using too much fruit, skipping healthy fats, or relying on juice as a base. And finally, we heard from real people just like you who gave this habit a fair try and noticed something changed. Not in a dramatic, overnight way, but in a steady, empowering way that helped them feel more in control of their weight, their energy, and their aging process. So if you've been feeling stuck, tired, or discouraged about your health lately, I want you to know it's not too late. Not at all. Your body is still listening. And even the smallest choices can have a big impact over time. Try this smoothie habit for 1 week. Just 1. Keep it simple, make it enjoyable, and listen to how your body responds. You might be surprised by how quickly it rewards you. Before we close, I'd love to hear from you. What's one smoothie ingredient you already love? Or one you're curious to try after watching this? Leave a comment below. I read them all. And if this video helped you, please consider subscribing to the channel and sharing it with a friend who might benefit. I post weekly, science-backed tips to help you stay strong, sharp, and independent as you age. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Dr. Jones, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay well, stay steady, and keep nourishing yourself one step at a time.